Soul MCA here. Welcome back to the channel where we take the mystery out of the music. I'm going to start a series where I'm going to try to do this weekly, about practical things that can help you in bass playing. I know there's a lot of videos out here. We talk about bass theory, we're talking about techniques and things, but I'm not sure if there's a lot of like practical lessons. So I want to start a series on just practical things that will help you with your bass playing. So number one, I want to talk about these right here, our hands, right? These are the money makers. You want to take care of your hands. It sounds obvious, but it's not as obvious as you would think. I injured myself seriously. I think I had what could be called or considered the start of carpal tunnel. I was in the middle of the night. I would wake up in agony. My hands would be sticking me like pins and needles. I actually had to put the bass down for about 3 months. I think at one point I couldn't play at all. And then I was good for a while. I came back, I was playing again, and it happened to me again. And so I learned the importance of taking care of my hands. So what should happen is before you play, you should always warm up. All right, get your bass, maybe go through some scale exercises, some spider X's, they call them. Maybe just like a shout and beat up and down all of the chromatic scale, just up and down the strings. Start a little slow and then work up your speed. Obviously, there's some gigs where you can't, especially if you're like in church. You know, when you go to somebody else's church and you got to play and they call your choir up and you only have a couple seconds to set up you and your band while the person on the mic is trying to buy you all some time. We've seen it then and there. What I do in those cases is I just take my bass in the back. Once I get to the church, I just start warming up from there, and then I'll put my bass back in the bag and then get ready for when they call me up. But take care of your hands. You have to. So I suggest things like do things like this. You know, stretch them out. They have these metal balls that you can get that help as well. You just kind of would help stretch your hand out a little bit, get the blood flowing. Even things like this. You know, just to. The warmer your hands are, is the more blood is circulating to them. The more circulation to them, the better. Okay, and that's what you want. You don't want to hurt yourself. I've even heard rubbing alcohol, putting rubbing alcohol on your hands before you play works as well. I did try it once or twice, and I will say I didn't feel any pain, but I can't say for sure it works. I only did it twice, like I said, and it's just hard to say, but it may. I also, after I had the issues with my hands, started getting these gloves. They're like I should have took them out for this video. I wasn't thinking, but they're basically like gloves that expose my hands, but they keep my hand warm. It's like a stretchy bandage that you put, kind of like an ace bandage that you would put maybe around your knee or around your elbow. I found that those help as well. And the very last thing I'm going to say, because I don't want to make these long, is be careful where you rest your hands. So take this bass right here. All right. It's old blue here, right? Part of why I think I hurt myself is, and I may do it in these videos too, and if you guys ever see me doing it, guys or girls, ever see me doing it in these videos, please just leave a comment and say, Soul, you're doing it again. Two things actually I'm going to talk about. One, a drummer I used to play with used to correct me about it, which I loved. You're doing it. So the first is this. I play, you see that angle right there? That is the worst habit you could have. All right? That where you're just kind of resting your hand on the body of the bass. Okay, it makes getting to the notes easy. My hand has fallen asleep doing that. I played this guy's Sire bass one time, which I loved. I wanted to get a Sire. I was all about Sire, and I played it, and my hand kept going to sleep. He let me play it, and I'm playing through the service, and I'm like, oh, my hand keeps falling asleep because I kept resting it, and it was pinching that nerve that must have run there, and like I had to keep shaking my hand out, so not good. So how you really should play is you want to set your strap in a way that you really should be playing with a high elbow, like your elbow out here. They say like you're almost doing a samba almost, you know, like so that it's not resting. You can't see it now, but there we go. It's not actually resting on, if I do it right. See that? It just came over. It didn't actually, my wrist isn't actually pinching on the bass. The other thing is with your left hand or your fretting hand, which if you're left-handed, flip it, right? Your fretting hand. And this is what the drummer used to tell me. I was like playing almost sometimes with it tucked completely under, or the other issue I was having, you see that angle right there, bending it way, way, way too much. You'd be like, yo, your wrist, you're doing it again, your wrist. So I had to get to a natural place. You want to play like you have a small piece of fruit in your hand or a tennis ball in your hand. You should always have like that circular form. Just take that right there and then just move it under the bass. Notice it's not as much of an angle. It's not like this where I'm pointing that almost south and cutting off the blood flow in some of the veins. So practical lesson number one, I'm going to do a couple of these. I don't know how much. I'll just number them, I guess, as I go along. But hopefully this can help you and prevent you from hurting yourself. Listen, this is serious. If you want to have a bass career, if you want to play for a long time, it's serious. I used to play the drums, and this injury has kind of caused me to stop playing the drums. I can't really play like that for long periods of time anymore. So like as I'm hitting the cymbals in between worship, sometimes my wrists just go out. They just go out. I'll just drop a stick. Fortunately, I can still play bass, thanks be to God. So take care of your hands. Lesson number one, all right? Soul MCA, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. If this has happened to you, let me know about it. I'd love to hear your stories. I'm sure I'm not the only one out there. But please, 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 fellow musicians on YouTube, take care of your hands. Practical lesson number one. The good musicians get the gigs, but the cocky ones don't keep them. Enjoy. God bless.